it being on its own land and everything. And I noticed on the pictures there it has like the car is like a carport, is that?
Yeah, it has a carport. It has a home generator just in case the power goes out.
Being on its own land and everything.
I'm sure everything on that is transferable to the buyer.
Okay.
The home on the home generator.
Oh, very good. So everything conveys. And the manufactured home was made in 2020. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a really excellent price. Wow. Why on earth would they be selling it?
They moved there from Colorado, and they thought they were close enough to family, which their family lives south in Spring, Texas, and it's just kind of it takes longer than they would like to get to Spring, so they just want to sell and get closer to family in Spring.
All right, that makes sense. Now, I did notice it was in a HOA. What benefits are there in the HOA?
They just take care of the common areas typically on the HOA. In this HOA, there's no swimming pool or anything like that, but they do take care of the common areas with landscaping and all that stuff. I'd have to check to see what else they offer, but
Okay.
that's typically what they do. I'm sorry, I'm bringing up the HOA.
Yeah, I'd also want to know if there were any rental restrictions. My clients, investors, and tend to rent it out.
No, not that I know of. I mean, I can get you the number for if you have a pen and paper, I can get you the number for the HOA if you want to ask to confirm, but I don't think there's any restrictions for landlords and tenants and stuff.
Yeah, we'll probably get all the details if they get interested in our offer. As I say, my clients, they're investor types. Would the sellers be open to the idea if we took on the existing note on the property?
No, unfortunately, sir, no, they would not. The husband, we've had a few people talk to us about doing subject to, and the husband just doesn't feel comfortable with it. He just rather just move, hopefully get an offer that they can accept and then just kind of move on. That's, I guess, the traditional way, sir.
I understand. People are comfortable with what they're used to. We've been doing this a long time and buy 6 to 8 houses a month. If you like, we can do the soft approach, do a letter of intent with a credibility package so they can see who we are, frequently asked questions on the net sheets. We're also willing to pay your commission on the buyer's side, not on the seller's side, which will save him money, and also all the closing costs. Would it be a complete waste of time if I did that?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
It was. I was just saying, would it be a complete waste of time if I did that? Would you be able to present that?
If you want to email it to me, I can forward it on to them and call them and just make sure to check their email. We can discuss it and see what they want to do.
Okay, that would be fantastic. Gives them the opportunity to say no, because every offer is different. Should I send it to Bruce King at thekingteam.com?
No, I don't know. You're the second person that said Bruce King. I don't know why it says Bruce King.
Okay.
No, I'm Andrew Teasdale.
Okay, very good, Andrew. Yeah, I don't know why I had that either. It's on the web somewhere.
That's my old broker from like years ago.
Okay. It brings up memories, eh?
Yeah. Not always great, but anyway.
No worries. Yeah.
I can text you my email address if that makes it easier.
Yes, it would. That way I don't get it wrong. That'd be fantastic, Andrew. I do appreciate that. Yeah, and hey, we're not frightened of them saying no, but they may say yes and surprise us. So
no, they might, but I'll text you my information.
Okay.
You'll send it to Bruce King, and then go from there.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that.
Take
Thank
care.
you. And you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Graham, you're a pro.
Yeah, Graham. That's awesome.
This is amazing.
Graham, I don't think you knew you were alive. You're not muted. Graham, he's so funny. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
I'm gonna mute
Graham,
him.
you there? No, you can't go muted now, man.
Oh man, that was so funny. It's great when things like that happen. I just wanted to let it ride, see what happens.
Did I miss something?
Yeah,
No.
you were great, man.
Oh, I
just-
was on a call. Yeah. Did you hear that?
we heard the whole thing.
All right. Okay. There we go. That's how to do something too.
Loving it. If you put your camera on, I'll make you host and I'll just go walk my dog or something.
All right. Okay. Well, sorry about that. Well, you got an example anyway. I called earlier, and yeah, they called me back. So there we go.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. You have a very smooth way of going in your transitions. I want to compliment you on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
You've come a long way. I remember when you first started making calls and asked me a few questions, and now you're just ripping them.
Yeah, yeah. I do about 5 a day. I submit, get about 5. It's my target, to put in, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Very,
yeah,
very good. What type of list are you hitting, just so everybody else can kind of know?
yeah. It's a low equity. It's in Texas, low equity. So,
How are you filtering them? What site are you using?
prop stream.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best, from what I've seen. I've tried them all, but yeah, they all work, it's a preference thing, but I do like it. I like the filters on PropStream.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, man. Thank you so much. I wish you a lot of success on your calls today and the rest of the week. And
Thank you. That was funny. I didn't know I was on.
didn't know you were on?
No, I didn't know. I mean, I was running you, and I thought I muted it out while I took the call. You see, so I thought I'll always pick up. I mean, I think that's the number one rule in real estate. Somebody's calling you back, you pick up, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah. And I really would like to encourage everybody else to do exactly what Graham did. Just unmute yourself if you're on a call and go for it. I love it. Thank you, man.
Pleasure.
How's everybody doing? We got the first 10 minutes kicked off perfectly.
Good.
Anybody got any questions?
Yeah.
We'll kick it off with questions, and then we'll do our whole spiel as far as filtering, looking at different properties, different situations. What do you guys have going on?
Sorry to follow up on Graham again.
Yeah, Justin, no problem.
Which Texas markets are you in, Graham?
He's probably on his next call.
Yeah.
Lightning.
So, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, which markets? I'm in a market where there's a low equity, so I'm all
Okay.
over the place. All
So
over.
across the state.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Justin, we find it best to really just just pick a general area and then take off the boundaries.
Yeah.
And then all of your low equities will pop up. Have you been using PropStream at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been spending about an hour a day, just lead generation, just getting the reps in.
Very
But
good.
I'm in Texas too, in central where I live in the Austin area. But
Wonderful. If you guys feel free to reach out to Justin, I'm gonna put you on the bus. We're going through a deal together right now, actually.
yeah,
He found a fantastic situation. I don't know if you want to share at all, but not obligated at all.
sure.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, so we have we have some rental properties, and one in particular was in between tenants, and so we recently migrated to Rent Ready, and so we did our marketing through there and screening through there. Prior to this, we had a property management company that was doing all the tenant screening. So we had a family reach out to us, and my wife followed up with them on the phone, and we got their story. And they were looking to rent our property, and got talking to them a bit more and came to find out that their property was in was approaching pre-foreclosure.
Behind on the payments.
Yeah, so they were about 4 months or so behind. So have a light bulb went off, and we're relatively new to creative finance. We have done traditional financing in the past. So, but my wife and I have been kind of doing a lot of education and whatnot. So we were thinking subject to brains, we're thinking about how we might be able to approach them. So they were very forthcoming, and because we were screening them, we had access to a lot of their information already, credit reports, and they were very forthcoming in terms of sharing information, mortgage situation, and my wife had the conversation with them about what they were planning to do with their house. They didn't have the cash to put it on the market or do anything with it. They were really just looking to get out of it and hit the reset button and to avoid foreclosure.
1 second. I
Yeah.
want to jump in. When he mentions they didn't have the money to put it on the market, they didn't have money to fix it up to be able to market the property properly. A lot of times people throw it on the market the way it is, as is, and this particular property wasn't in the best condition, so they wouldn't really walk with any money. And that's what Justin came.
Yeah, so the ARV on the house is about 215, 230, and we are essentially and they have about 100,000 into the house, into the mortgage. So we're basically able to come into the house without any money. So
Very good situation.
Yeah,
they were able to SubTo the property, help them out with the arrears, and they're foregoing the equity on the property. So Justin is walking into 100 grand of equity.
yeah.
Granted, he's gonna have to put some money in, fix up flooring,
So,
paint, cabinets.
yeah, so our initial strategy will be to rent the house. So we'll be putting somewhere between 15 to 20 into the property to get it ready. And so we'll close on around the 15th or so.
Yeah, end of next week, maybe beginning of the week after, but that's what we're pushing for. And yeah, he's gonna get a great deal and shoot a tiny mortgage and be able to you're gonna cash flow. What do you think you'll cash flow on that property?
We should be cash flowing north of 600, something like that.
About 6. It's great.
Yeah,
fantastic. But yeah, situations like this arise. You just have to kind of have you don't have to have the whole knowledge, just a bit of knowledge as far as potentially seeing something is there. And that's what Justin brought. He was just like, hey, I think I've got something here. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
We're right there. Can you help me out? And they worked perfectly for him.
Yeah, we're grateful that Jose was kind of in my purview, so to speak, with some of the education I've been doing.
Yeah, and there, of course, like every deal, there is some risk involved, but we're aware of all the risks. I made him aware of certain things that could go wrong, what could go right. You got to just kind of lay out the good and the bad, because not everything is great. But the risk far outweighed the benefit and the profit there. So yeah, Justin's going for it, and it looks good, like a good deal.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, man.
Sure.
But yeah, guys, if If you guys have anything else to share, any questions you have, please, you can have a situation where you think it's not a deal and it turns out to be one, or a lead that you're not exactly sure how to structure it. This wasn't a low equity deal, and it ended up being a very good one for him. So if you guys have any questions, I'm encouraging you, please just speak up. It might not be a hot lead, but it might be. And if you don't speak up, you'll never know. What else would you guys like me to cover? I've only got an hour with you guys. I've got a ton of work to do. Do you guys, I'm going to leave it up to you. If you guys want me to cover some stuff that I found out in Puerto Rico, drop a 1. If you guys would like me to make some phone calls direct to agents, drop a 2. If you guys would like to do just a straight Q&A and everybody unmutes, drop a 3. We'll go with that. Oh, shit. This is pretty 50-50. Let me count them. 1, 1, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Nice, Dad. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got definitely more 2s than 1s.
I'm going to vote more than one time.
Is that you, Victoria?
1, 1, 1, 1.
I'll do a brief synopsis. So I'll do a little 1 and 2. Puerto Rico was enlightening because the island, unfortunately, has taken such a massive hit that when I was there, initially I went with the investor mindset, obviously, of possibly picking up a property, doing Airbnb. When I was planning my trip, I looked at Airbnbs, and Airbnbs are through the roof. It is so pricey over there. We're talking like $200 a night for something that's not that great. So they're very pricey, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I could take advantage of, the good pricing and make some profit. But while I'm there, I started digging in a little more, seeing how Jerry Norton was able to pick up his boutique hotel, how he's developing it, what the nuances are for getting the tax advantages and the 40% that most people are getting and paying basically no capital gains on certain properties when you sell it, a very low tax rate of 4%, a lot of tax benefits. I won't dig into it, but I do want to talk very briefly about the island itself. It's beautiful. I don't know why more people don't talk about it. I personally didn't know until I stepped foot there and not just went to the places where the meetups were, because they were in very nice places. I rented a car, and I ended up doing an island trip. So I did the whole border. I did Arecibo, went across, I went over to Crash Boat Beach, went down to Rincon, down to Cabo Rojo, came across down to, I forgot what other cities down there. And I did a trip all around the island, except for the islands that are in the surrounding areas. And as I was going around, and I would spend a day in each little city. As I'm going around a day or two, I'm realizing, okay, there's a lot of opportunity here, but let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's take our investor hat off. Why isn't anybody here on the island doing anything about it? Why aren't the residents? There is so much pain on the island, guys, that I don't think people realize it. There's not enough income or the ability to have a giant surplus of income to be able to take a risk on a business. There's some beautiful restaurants on the water, and they're very few and far between. The restaurants that are there are all newer on the water because they haven't been destroyed, and over the last couple of years, they've been redeveloping them. But these restaurants on the water, I'm talking like you should have, if they were here in the States, you'd be having $100 plate all day, every day. And you're talking about fantastic food for like 20, 30 bucks. I feel like there's only a select few amount of people that are well off on the island that are taking the risk, but there's really no one that let's say there's a cook that has cooked all their life and they're just scraping by and they would love to open a restaurant, but they'd have to partner up with an investor. No one right now is willing to take a risk to go through what they just went through a couple of years ago with the hurricane. So it's very, it hurt me, honestly, to see so much potential not being realized. And as investors, I want to be able to change the landscape of that, not just to come in and pick things up and renovate everything, like, yes, but with the thought in mind to renovate and give people an opportunity to grab it, maybe seller finance these businesses that we bring up and give it back to the people. I feel like the people there didn't have the opportunity or don't exactly have the risk tolerance that we have here in the States. So it's something just to be conscious of whenever you're investing in other areas. Don't just come in because everything's cheap and you can make a ton of profit. Yes, it's good, but make sure you give back. It was really, it hurt to see so much potential out there not being realized. It was just beautiful beaches, beautiful restaurant, amazing food, great vibes and atmosphere, and people had so little in a lot of the areas that I was driving around. It still hadn't, there was so many buildings that were completely abandoned, and all of these abandoned structures are concrete. So they're there, the structure's not going anywhere. And that's actually one of the structures that Jerry Norton picked up, was a concrete structure. It was a multifamily building and he turned it into the boutique hotel that he's doing. But as far as the structure itself, the structure is there, so you could just renovate it and make it something else again. It doesn't take demoing an entire place down and building something up brand new. You could use the structure that's there, you could use your surroundings and build around it. But there's got to be more. There's got to be more to be able to just give back to the people, because just going in and grabbing properties and fixing them up and then giving them, renting it out at crazy prices, like don't do that to the people over there. Then if they couldn't take the risk to start a business, if they couldn't take the risk to go out and do these investments on their own, what makes you think they can afford a higher rent that we think is affordable and might not be to them? So I don't know. I started my trip with the investor mindset and I ended with like, Jesus Christ, I got to give back, and I got to give back very quickly, because I don't know, I got to figure out a way to be able to take that risk. And I'm in the talks with insurance companies right now to see what the risk is and what the payouts are generally. I'm in communication with a couple of giant mortgage lenders out there. Since there's no centralized MLS system out there, there's just something called Clasificados Online. And that's kind of like the Craigslist of our Craigslist, and that's where they're advertising properties. It's not, there's no structure there right now. So I have to dig, and I went and contacted the 3 biggest mortgage lenders out there. And I'm starting to speak with certain people that are higher up that'll give me some information on the loans that are in place. For the last 3 years, I'm asking for the loan information for these properties, not so I could jump in and grab these properties super cheap, but kind of to bring these loans current, help the people on the island that are behind, and see what I could do that would benefit myself and people that are there. It'd be really easy to go in, kick people out and renovate and raise the rent, but I don't know, it's not right. So I'm just in the middle, I'm rambling, but somewhere in between, I'm sure there's a good middle ground where it'll be beneficial for both the people in the island and investors. And I just hope investors don't fully take advantage the way they have been, in order to just find a way to give back a little bit. And that's it. Sorry, guys. I was a little passionate about it. Elmer, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, man? Man, I see you passionate, man. I was about to cry for you, like, oh my God. But would love to connect with you, man, and maybe see what we could do out there, partner up or something. You know what I mean? We could get some partners here in the line as well, and see what we could do. I mean, if you up for it, I'm definitely down.
100%. Yeah, there's so much opportunity, especially with private money right now. Private money, because hard money lending and regular lending is still a little bit high, but private money and bringing in cash, there's so much spread on these properties that we could private money lender and bring them along with us on the investment, even give them a piece of equity.
There you go.
If you guys know anybody that's got some cash and looking to put it down somewhere,
I'm
that's
a
a,
Gator, so
Yeah.
it's I could help out.
there you go. Me and Elmer are Gators. I'm sure there's a couple Gators in the group. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunity, man. I would love to. Hit me up on the side. The hotel's not completely finished yet. They're doing a grand opening at the end of October, whoever iPad is. Yep, affordability is very, very low out there. Yeah, Muzi, they're block construction. They're actually concrete rebar, if you know what that is. Yes, Luisa, I drove around the island. There's certain areas that are not safe, but the vast majority of the island is safe. It's perfectly fine. You're okay. Just don't be going out to sketchy spots after 1 a.m. That's all. But you can have a nice late night dinner and have no problem. Corruption, yep. That's what pissed me off. I heard the story of the governor and what was going on with the funding that they were getting. And yeah, let's just say I wanted to take some heads. Yeah, Stacey, I'm sure that's how Hawaii's going right now. But yeah, just wanted to share that piece. Let's go ahead and do number 2. Not actual number 2. We're gonna make some calls.
Thank you, man, for that. Appreciate you, man. Like always.
Yeah. What areas do you guys want to hit? Give me a couple.
Come on. LA, man. Come on. Hometown.
What do you want me to do in LA?
I don't know, man. Whatever. I don't know.
You
I
really think there's low equity in LA?
am I Compton? Come on. Compton, Watts, Torrance.
Jersey, New York.
Do you really think I want to invest in these cities, guys?
Hey, Compton is not as bad as it used to be. I'm not too far from Compton, so yeah, the city has changed. Everybody, you hear Compton, the bad reputations of Compton, but it's like anything else. You got your bad city, your bad area, and your good area.
What would you compare Compton to now in a different state? Give me a random city.
Compton, let's do. I'm not sure. Maybe Gardena, maybe. There's a part of Compton that is very kept up, and you see USC.
Yeah.
Like, so just people thinking like here Compton is like it's just movies, come on.
Guilty.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Jay, what's going on?
Good morning. Can you help me comp a property just so I know it's correct?
You want to comp a property out? Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Hold on, let me pull up the address.
And you guys, if you have Privy is probably the best platform for you guys to go ahead and do comping for wholesaling. So Privy is very useful for that. Fix and flipping, comping, finding investor buyers. We use PropStream here on this Zoom, this YouTube Live, more so because we like the data that it gives us, the mortgage balance, the payments, the interest rate, and that's more for low equity. So we're not saying that any system is wrong. We're just saying one system you use for one thing and you use another for another. You got the address there?
I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does it matter that it's under contract?
Well, I'm talking to the one that is signed the contract. So I'm wondering if they did seller financing or carry back on the, I think it's about 100,000, I think, based on the information. So it's around 273, it looks like, on the loan.
Let's see. I'm going to share my screen now, guys. Hang on.
Yes, please.
Okay. Come on.
So the one that he has it under contract, he's doing cash offer, he said, at 320.
Really? 320 cash. Balance is 220, so they're walking away with 100.
Mhm.
And he's trying to sell it to you for 320, or he's trying to sell it to you for like 340, 350.
We didn't even get there yet. So he's doing a walkthrough today, and it's, I think, his first deal. So he's pretty much just wanting to look at it. We didn't even get that far. He was actually asking for EMD, so hopefully I'll be a gator on his deal. But potentially, I wanted to talk to him about how much is, well, first I want to comp it first. I didn't have a chance.
Yeah. Do you want me to comp it like if you would, or do you want me to comp it like if I would?
Either way, show us both ways, or whatever you think is helpful for the group.
Okay. This is, I'm going to show you how I'm going to show you a realtor system and how a realtor, if you find somebody that's in real estate, how they should be comping.
Okay.
6650, 106.
Is there any software went out for comping? Like for myself, I got PodStream as well, but it's kind of the data. Huh?
Privy.
Privy? Other than Privy.
Maybe Andrew would say Batch. I haven't used Batch, but it might. You could also use Zillow, and I could show you guys on Zillow too.
Yeah, that's what I've been using, Zillow.
The thing is, Zillow with purchase and sales are not the greatest. Okay, so it's a kind of urban area. Where are we? Next to St. Pete? Okay. Yeah, I would definitely not go past 1 mile on this one. What's the data? So we've got a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, 1492 square feet. I go up and down 200 and then adjust from there. 5-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm going to go with 3+ and see what happens. And then first, you always want to look for sold comps in the last 6 months. Usually you do 3 months, but let's see how many sold come up. A ton of sold. We're fine. We could chop this down to 90. Now we have better data within 200 square feet. I look at the map, zoom in, and I look for something as close to the red dot as possible. So actually, let's go to the year. I forgot to put the year. What was the build? 25? So I'm gonna go 1950, 1970 or less. You still got 8. Damn, what an old area. And square footage, did I put that? Yeah, I put square feet. Okay. Let's see what looks the most similar. 3.2 from 1969, 1969. We want something older. 59. So 59 is the oldest. These two properties are the oldest ones, 58 and 59. So we got 289 a square foot here. But this one is on slab. Here in Florida, Jay, you want to look at properties that are uplifted on the stilts or have a crawl space are different from slab.
Okay.
See, this is more on slab too. Whenever there's a crawl space underneath the property, it usually devalues it a little bit. When you're on a slab like this, it's a slab foundation, so it's just much more solid.
So slab is better.
Slab is always better, yeah.
Okay,
When there's a crawl space underneath, you'd just have in mind that the property is going to be less than what the comps are showing for your slab properties.
okay.
So yeah, 289 here, a square foot, 338. So I put it in my notes. You could jot it down, 289, 338. I don't really go by price. I go by the price per square foot.
Got you.
And these are both renovated, very clean properties. None of these have pools. The other one didn't. Oh, this one has a pool. So you, on the 338, for a pool, I would probably chop off like $40 a square foot. So you're at 299, 298, 298. At 298 and 289, so your average sale is around 293. Do you see that?
Let me see. So you're just taking the average of the 289
Yeah.
and 298. Okay,
And this is just very surface, but this is the closest you'll get to a good evaluation.
okay.
And then you've got this property here at, this is a 57. Remember, we're going to look for as old as possible. 1925, this is that one. 56 and 56. We're going to look at the map, see how close these check marks are. These are a little bit on the outskirts, so let's go with this one. This is the closest one, and look at that, 288.
Oh,
So
wow.
just-
Okay.
You see consistency?
Yeah, the 293 is what we calculated for
Yep.
square footage.
So fixed up, let's go with 290, let's say. You want to be on the lower end because the market is trending down.
Right.
Honestly, if you want to be conservative, I would go to 285.
I like conservative, you know.
Do 285, you multiply it by the square footage that the property has, which is 1492. That's 425. But remember, what did I say? There's a crawl space on this house,
Okay,
and none of these houses have crawl space. So on this 290 figure, 285 figure, I would chop off another $20 a square foot, at least.
so 265.
265. You're generally in the area, yeah. And maybe a little bit more because this is the oldest property. There's no other comparable. We don't have any comparables in the 20s and the 30s.
I see.
So take another 10 off. 255. And you multiply that by 1492. And you're at 380. So they're not off. Do the numbers make sense?
Yes,
Did I go too fast?
I got it.
You got it? Cool.
So if I were to buy it, right, but he's right on, right, well, the sellers wanted 370 and then they'll walk, well, they said yes to 320.
Yeah.
What would be, I mean, I'm not
So,
sure.
Are you catering this or are you trying to buy it for yourself?
Potentially both. So I'm going to gator. So that he's asking for the 1500 for the EMD.
That's fine.
Yeah,
If
that's
you're a little tip here for everybody that's catering or that's wholesaling. The first couple questions, you're going to have two different scenarios. If you're catering, you want to know if they have any flip experience, because if they're catering or how they're going to pay you back, what is the exit? What is their purpose for this property? Do you know?
I just find an end buyer, but he didn't give a number. I think maybe because he sent out a message and I called him, right? And he was going through a bunch of emails or messages. I was like, no, let me call you right now and figure that out. So I don't think he has an actual, he wants an end buyer, so he doesn't have one lined up, but I don't know if he actually has a price yet. That's why I want to see what would be good or just help him find a buyer for it.
So he's okay. He's all right at 320. It just depends on for what the strategy is. If it's for a long-term hold and he's just assigning it to somebody to hold it as a SubTo.
He's just wanting to assign, I think, just because it's his first one and he just wants to either, I'm assuming, having an end buyer or assigning. to someone else.
Yeah. That's what my questions would be. That what is the end game here? Not just assigning it. You want to know who you're assigning it to.
Okay.
Is this going to a flipper? Is this going to somebody that's going to hold the property? Somebody that's going to, is there some renovations that are still needed on this house? I mean, it looks nice, but I'm sure there's some underlying issues.
Yeah, that's why he was going to do the walkthrough today, and he was going to send me pictures just to check.
Cool, cool. But I doesn't look too bad. My questions would just be, yeah, what are your exit strategies, and what is the purpose of this? And whatever that answer is, try and get some history for whoever the buyer is, or if you're buying it. I'm going to tell you, this doesn't work for flip.
But there's not enough room for
Exactly. There's
what I thought the same.
But any other strategy, I think you're okay. You're going well under the market value. It's already pretty clean.
I was thinking maybe a buy and hold, depending on the pictures,
That'd be great.
and check out the rental. Especially if the sellers do a carryback. Would you think that would work in this case?
Yeah, the area is hot for rentals. So
Okay.
to be completely honest, if it's possible, try and get him structured. I would want to do this SubTo, because look at the loan on.
Right. That's why I saw that APR on there, the interest rate.
Yep. 220, and you've got $1,000 payment. If you could get another $500 to the owner and they're willing to take it, then you've got probably like another 1,000 spread. I would pad split this thing.
Well, maybe we'll talk then. Because he's still new to this and he doesn't know about creative. He says he wants to, but he's like, I'm not very good at explaining this. So maybe we can talk about it later. Okay.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for speaking up. Anybody else got any questions? That was a good one. All right, so we're gonna go into a city. We're gonna do, there we go. I'm picking Alexandria, Virginia. Good job, Anthony. I wish Zoom had a Spotify feature where I could throw some music in the background. What's going on? As you guys can probably see from my mouse, that I'm a little off as far as my filters. I totally forgot. Is anybody new in here? Has anybody not been to any of the other Zooms? Can you drop a 1 in here? Just wanted to gauge. See who's new, who's, oh wow. Welcome, Sarah. How'd you hear about this? Did you just get an email or what's going on? You can drop it in the chat or you can unmute. No need to be shy. Everybody here's we're all friends.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, great. New here. I have I'm Gator in training for top tier TC.
Ooh, so you're in my group. Nice.
I am. I guess Pace keeps putting on all the extra things. Extra.
Always extra.
Forward, all the extras. So I'm trying to just keep up with my studies, and so I was like, I'm gonna leave Circle and Elephant Challenge alone for just a little bit because honestly, I feel like I'm jumping around a lot, and I want to kind of finish off and not get squirrely.
What was the last part?
Oh, I just don't want it to be like shiny object get squirrely.
Yeah.
With jump in. I want to like finish my classes and finish my courses and then go to the, and then move on.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm trying to do that. But now I saw here's what happened. I went to have a coffee with my girlfriend. All of my girlfriends are real estate agents. And I have to admit that I'm a little bit not ready to tell them what I'm doing because they obviously think that I have joined the dark side.
Yeah.
But surprisingly enough, she was like very excited and was like, "Oh my God, I have all these buyers and I have nothing to sell them. How can we work together?" And I was like, "I don't quite know yet," because she's like, "Can you find houses for sale?" And I'm thinking, well, maybe I can.
Yeah. Very good.
So
Are you looking to be an
where's
agent?
all of this go? I'm sorry.
You looking to be an agent at all? Or are you?
I was originally, but then I found Pace, and then I was like, nah,
Good job. Good, good,
at
good.
least not for now.
Um,
So how do I find or figure out how to find all the low equity divorce listings for Beverly Hills, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, all of Los Angeles?
you do want to go LA too. Okay. Let's go that way. Let me help you out because Alexandria was just pitching me like $1 million houses. What's an outskirt area aside from Los Angeles? I don't want to go into Los Angeles.
Sherman Oaks,
Sherman
Studio
Oaks?
City.
Okay, let's see. Single family. Do you use PropStream at all? Do you have it?
I know I have not signed up for anything that's a monthly fee because
Okay.
I gave all my money to pay.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to carry too many monthly charges of a bunch of stuff. So check this
Right.
out if you like it. I'm gonna look for single family properties only. Generally, when you have a townhouse or a condo, you're most likely going to run into HOA issues that are cutting into your profit margin. So usually look into single family properties, failed listings. These are expired or houses that just came off the market. MLS status date. I'm looking for something, most properties that came on the market or tried to go on the market the beginning of summer last year. Generally, there was a bunch of traffic. And then a bunch of people that couldn't sell because of the interest rate hike.
Right.
And we've got individual owners. You don't want to look for LLCs or corporations. Those are usually flippers or higher hedge funds that are just renting out properties in mass bulk.
Right.
And then we've got a loan to value. You want to do it on the minimum side and do this one. You can fluctuate. You could do 70%, 80%. This is just how much equity there is. And generally, if you have 15, 20%, 25% of equity, that's all going to get eaten up with commissions and closing costs. Just so you kind of get an idea why we're putting 75 or 80. And then mortgage info. We just touched loan types, conventional, FHA or VA. Usually you want to look for FHA and VA only because the entry on these properties is very low. They put very little money down. So low equity deals are usually better there. If you have a conventional loan that pops up, generally they put 5, 10, 15, 20% down, and they've got a little more room where they want that money back. And that diminishes our ability to grab these properties. They just want more entry. And then I filter for a max of 5% interest. So in Sherman Oaks, we've got what's the general price range over there?
You can sell the piece of land for $1.5 million these days. They'll tear it down and start.
1 to 2 million. Okay. I guess this is low, guys. We're doing a very luxurious low equity Zoom here. Here we go. It can be done as long as the market dictates that there's tenants out there. This would be a good one. Oh my goodness, I'm getting blown up.
she also knows of like people that are selling their houses that haven't even been listed yet. You know,
Oh,
because of
perfect.
strike and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out how we could work together somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. I actually work the luxury market here in Orlando, as far as low equity goes. And generally, this is not for everybody, but most of the time, if you have the clientele to deal with these $1 million properties, guys, they already know what subject to and seller finance is. Most of the time, the higher end people, the people that have been in the business for 10, 20 years, they already, when you start talking to them about it, it hasn't been thought of recently, but they're aware of it. So it's just kind of a mindset thing, since most people haven't had to use it in a very long time. So this one's worth around 3 million. Let's see if they tried to sell it at all. Yeah, they tried to sell it here in July and they took it off the market. Oh, they actually tried to rent it. So if they rented it, they tried to rent it a couple of times at 24, 23,000. It didn't work out. So let's take a look at the space there. We've got a 3.1 value and a 1.7 loan with a 36 grand construction. So we're around 1.8. But we've got about $1.2 million to seller finance, and we could give them a down payment on it, maybe 100,000, 150,000 down, and take over the property. But you'd have to find a buyer that'd be willing to take a piece of their equity only. That's the only issue here. First thing we're gonna look at, whoa, what the heck is that? Oh, take a look at this. What is your name?
Sarah?
Sarah? Take a look at this. Most of the time when we take over a construction loan or a equity line of credit, things like that, generally the term will match the mortgage. This specific one is a builder loan for 400,000 and it's due in a year. It says loan balance of this 400 is 36,000. So it looks like they've paid it down quite a bit, but we've still got a gigantic payment. So most likely our down payment would go towards paying this thing off. We want to get rid of this payment.
Right.
So let's say we had 120, 150,000 that we were going to put down. It would go towards this, and whatever's left over would go to the seller. So we've got a 3.5. Let's just say we brought the money and we paid this thing off, and we don't have this payment. We've only got a payment of 8,268. When you're using prop stream, keep in mind this is usually only principal and interest, not taxes and insurance, which I can imagine is gigantic over there. So
Yep.
let's go ahead and guess maybe a $12,000 payment. Does that sound about right?
Sounds right.
Okay. 12,000, and we're going to comp this thing out and see how much it can actually rent for. So if they were at 12,000, it looks like they were trying to double that and get the rent. So they were trying to match that and put 10 to 12,000 in their pocket, and they couldn't get it. Let's see if they were justified in this number. 5.5, 4,800 square feet. I exit out of here. We're automatically in the area. I go just a little bit under at a 4.3. I go down to, we were at 5,800, right? Square feet. I'm going to remove, there's not much available for rent there. I'm going to remove no max. I'm going to remove the square footage. So far in this area, we've got about 4 properties, and generally they're in the 20 to 21 range. Do you see that?
Yep.
At 20 to 21, we can pretty much gather that 24 and 23,000 they were asking for was not right. It's a little bit above the market. So if you were to drop down to 20 or 21, you'd probably rent it pretty quickly. Let's see. I don't know if you've comped out rental properties before, but when you're looking
No.
at rental comps, you want to try and make sure that the contacts matches or beats the days listed. If it does, that generally means that the price is correct. And if it doesn't, that generally means that it's overpriced. This one seems like it might be a little overpriced. Let's look at the next one. Less context, but it also depends on your market. The LA market, I'm guessing sometimes rentals sit. I can't imagine there's too much demand for rentals, but I'm sure there are. But generally we can tell that we're in the 19, 20, 21 range, right, for this property. So if we've got a $12,000 payment, we can probably seller finance $1 million for $3,000 a month to them, and we'd still profit $5,000 a month. Does that make sense?
No, explain that, please. I mean, yes, no.
Yep. So the rental comps dictate that the property is around 20. Thanks for joining, Andrew. Good seeing you. The rental market dictates that it's around 20,000, the correct fair market value for the rental on this property. At 20,000, we subtract the 12,000 that we think the actual total payment, PITI, will be.
Right.
And then we've got, remember when we take over the property, we've got 1.7 here, and we had a valuation of, I believe, 3 million. So we have 1.3 to take care of, right? As far as equity goes.
Right.
That 1.3 million, we'd probably come in with 300,000, or I'd say start at 150 to 180,000 down, and then finance that rest of the money, which would be, I don't know, 900,000, $1 million, something like that, and give them $3,000 a month. And I come up with that number because obviously 1,000 or 2,000 is way too little, and 4,000 or 5,000 is going to cut into the profit for us, even subject toing the property. You don't want to start too high, because if you start high, then obviously the seller is going to want more. You start at a median price. So 3,000 seems reasonable. And we've got a 12,000 payment plus 3,000, we're at 15,000. And if we subtract the 20,000 that we would rent it at, we've got about a profit margin of 4,000 to 5,000. That sound right?
Right.
So I would start my seller finance offer on one of these there. 3,000 a month, financing 900 to $1 million, I believe it was, with around 150 to 200 down. That 150 to 200 down, Monica, is going to take care of this loan balance. We're going to make sure that they pay that thing off, because this is way too much a month. So we're only doing the 1.8 here. So does that make more sense on how to structure something like that? This would be a sub-2, but obviously a higher end sub-2.
Right.
Yep. And if you come across any of these, I would love to just walk through any type of lead that you have that you see a similar situation. This one specifically is not a low equity, but people are well off, so they don't mind taking a monthly payment that could possibly pay down their next place.
Right.
So
should if we know of a place that has a divorce not yet listed property, how should we approach it?
I would approach it the same way, but with a little bit more in mind as far as when it comes to divorces, I'm finding, let me stop sharing. When it comes to divorces, I'm finding, I've done a couple of these deals where it's not so much, the money is a big factor, but there tends to be so much hate and not wanting to communicate or be in the same room or sign the same documents, that if you can come from a place of giving them breathing room, they don't have to talk to each other, well, you'll take care of talking and communicating individually, then the money goes to the side a little bit, because they won't have to deal with each other. If they have somebody in between that's willing to talk to one or the other party. So try and focus more on that. And yeah, granted, their second place is definitely going to be the money, because they're going to end up splitting it. And obviously one's going to want more than the other, or they're both going to want to push as much as possible to get as much as possible to their pocket, since they're splitting it. So it's a little tricky, but I'd approach it the same exact way, just with a different frame of mind when speaking, more so ease and less friction through the transaction.
Right. Okay.
I hope that helps there. I'm gonna keep going through, but I'm gonna try, we can't really filter for divorce situations on these things. Most of the time, if it's low equity and they tried to sell it, means they're going through something anyways. They just purchased a property. It's most of the time it's relocating from COVID. A lot of people relocated and had remote jobs that are now in office. So a lot of these things are popping up where people are going back to the states they came from. That's probably the number one situation I come across. Number two is definitely divorce. And number three has been downsizing. A lot of people want to just get rid of whatever house they have, clean their hands off of it. They don't want any money out of it. They just want the debt gone from their name and move into something.
You were also in Gator?
What was that?
Did you say you were also in Gator?
I am, yeah.
Okay. I'll reach out to you after.
Yeah, do you have my number? Grab my number from the bottom here. We'll get in
Thank you.
touch. Yeah, of course. Sir. Anthony, what's going on?
Hey, Jose. I just kind of want to touch on what Sarah was just talking about.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from the agenda though, but I'm just curious as far as you as yourself, like how do you structure your list, like your polling list, like where it's a sheet or if it's your CM or whatever. I'm looking for the. I've watched a few videos, but I'm just gonna look over your shoulder, kind of how you compile your list. If you have time, that's awesome. But if you don't, I understand.
Are you asking me or Sarah?
No, you. Jose.
Oh, okay. How I compile my list. Most of my lists are going to come from different cities. If you'll notice, we just did Alexandria and LA. These are cities that are probably not going to come up much low equity. We did the filters and we came out with 2 in LA. Sorry, your signal's cutting out. I couldn't hear you.
The one you did up there is the Valley of LA. That's not considered like LA. That's compared to Beverly Hills up in the hills.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Jose?
Now I can hear you better.
Okay.
Yeah,
The actual act of like, do you use Google Sheets, CRM? I'm just trying to get a hold of how other people are actually compiling their list together. Like I said, if you don't have time, I understand.
No, that's fine. I usually use Google Sheets. I'll create a Google lead form. That's what I have for people to submit their leads in. And that generally keeps things tracked. So you can see, I'm just going to show you guys real quick.
Yeah, thank you.
You'll see here. This is the leads you guys have submitted. These are all leads and stuff everybody has submitted over the past couple of weeks. I'll color coordinate it. I will put notes in there. But right now what I'm doing, since things have really skyrocketed, I'm a little behind. I ended up kind of biting the bullet and I bought I bought a Mercedes-Benz of CRMs. So I'm about to level you guys up big time. I'm going to be able to do some follow-ups, kind of hands-off, where I can implement AI, and this thing will start talking to these sellers on its own, and then it'll actually update you guys, it'll update me, similar to the platform that Don and Mike are using, and what others.
I seen the Astro one that Jamil was
Yep, Astro Blaster, yep.
Yeah, Astro Blaster. Yeah, I guess that's what my question was if you had upgraded to the AI or
Yep.
if you were still manually.
I just did this Google Sheets. It can only take you so far. And initially when we first started, it was only 30, 40 of us, but we're easily, I'm talking to at least 40 to 50 of you guys consistently. So it's been a little tough just to keep track. So that's what I'll be doing in the coming days. I'm setting this thing up. Just bought it literally last night, so I'm gonna make sure that I take care of you guys and make sure that we get this low equity train going the right way. Not just with me. I need AI. I need some help. I got the LOI generator, so we can really pump out these LOIs much quicker. Quite a bit is coming, guys. So just know I'm going to take care of it. Yeah, you're welcome. But as far as CRMs go, you guys just pick don't spend money on stuff. I truly, until you start locking up deals, I don't suggest spending the money, because you're still beginning. You're still trying to figure out what the scripts are, what the LOIs are going to look like, what these different situations are. And if you go and grab a CRM that's going to be amazing, yeah, it's going to be amazing, but you've got nothing to put in it, or you don't know how to handle it. I personally, I'm terrible with integrations and things like that. So I was able to partner up with somebody over in Puerto Rico that has given the CRM, not given, but provided the CRM and the platform to be able to handle this. So I had a good conversation with him. He convinced me, so I'm in. Thanks for asking, Anthony, though. Trying to figure out how better to answer you. A script, Luis. I'm trying to get on a phone call real quick so you guys can hear what my script is. It's not really a script. I've kind of just go with the flow. Everybody that has been here they kind of know I just talk, I just wing it. Let me go to a city that's, oh God. All right. You're gonna love this one. Let's call Compton. Let's call Compton. We've got 5 leads here. $2.7 rate. Already like it. Okay. There's a good rental market, right? People are not scared to go and rent over there. This is wild. We're going straight from the valley to Compton. We could do it all. 600,000? All right. What's going on here? Listing removed in February. They tried for 615. Okay, it looks like we're going to have to go directly to the seller. But first, since this is higher end in Compton, I can't expect this property to, and it's a conventional loan, we're going to add taxes and insurance to this. We're probably at a $2,500 to $2,600 payment. I can't imagine somebody renting properties out for $3,500 in Compton. Am I wrong? 1,000 square feet. Whoever was talking about Compton before, please chime in.
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
You really think I could rent the property like this? 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,000 square feet for $3,000 to $4,000?
I don't think so. That's
Okay.
bad.
I thought so. Okay. Let's move on to
I
the next.
mean,
This one is, they just refinanced to 2.9 interest. And this is a 4.2, 1,900 square feet. This one's probably more manageable. Let's see.
the rents are going for like 22, 23, somewhere around there. Maybe 26, the highest.
Why in
I
the
would
world?
say.
Why in the world is Zillow telling me $4,000 rent? Someone explain it.
Oh, well, they're doing a lot of remodel over there, so maybe that's why as well. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that.
Or
yeah, so-
4 bedroom, 2 bath at 1,900 square feet. That is correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be like 3,500 to $4,000. That is correct.
Are most people house hacking over there? I can't imagine one family owning this.
multi-generationals, a lot of like you said, house hacking. So that garage would be turned into a ADU, upstairs a second unit, and then downstairs a third unit.
Okay. And then this is probably a good lead, but I want to call something on market for you guys. So I'm gonna skip these. But yeah, that's a good one. 2.9, 1,600, let's say 2,200 with taxes and insurance. Rent it out for 3 grand. You've got plenty of spread. Let's go to where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Let's Vegas. Crap, guys, I've gone way over. I've actually got to end this thing. I'm gonna try and get one more, squeeze one more in. 5% interest, ownership info. Even I forget which side it's supposed to be on. If you guys will see, this will kind of be your cheat sheet. Don't take this with a grain of salt because the estimated value is what dictates this number. But generally, if you're at 20, 30, 40,000 in this middle column, it's probably low equity. Anything negative is obviously probably a short sale. But you have to do your own numbers. Don't just accept it. Like, go do your comps, go do your rental comps. Let's see what this one spits out. This is a 3.9 VA adjustable. I believe we talked about this, guys. With properties like this on VA loans alone, if they say adjustable, call and ask. Most of these VAs that I've had experience with, they're not adjusting for 10 years. So it'd be okay if it's a newer property or it's a new loan. We can still take over and we'll just refi before it adjusts. Little nugget for you guys. Not on market. Come on, come on. Give me something on market. Rogelio, you got anything on market? You're the man with that stuff. I think we got a call later too. Off market.
Yes, we do.
You got anything on market for me to call real quick, just as a sample?
Let me take one up for you.
All right. Goodness. Did I just do this one? 3.8 conventional. For rent. Okay, let's call it. I'll take it. I'll take anything. How long have they been trying? Since April to rent this thing out? Nothing. They've got to be tired. So at 32.95, it at 32.95, and this thing is probably not the right price. And even if it is, the cash flow is very, very low. They might be having, yeah, this might end up being a short sale, an actual short sale. We can't cash flow on this thing. Try this.
I got one for you.
Let's do it.
It's 5533.
Okay.
Cotton Port Drive.
What's the street name?
Cotton Port.
How do you spell it?
COTTON PORT.
In Brentwood?
Yeah.
All right. All right, 855. Let's see what the loan balance is. Whoa.
Okay, on this one here, this is one of the ones I was going to talk to you about because it's got all those mortgages there.
Yeah. Last sale date was 2016, so this is the original loan. They've got a commercial loan, variable rate. They paid that thing back with this new loan when they refied, and they went down to 3.1 interest rate. Had this, and then they got a credit line on top of this. 3.1, 150 credit line. We're at 530 or 495. The loan balance now. We're at 495 and they're asking 800. They're trying to pocket around 300,000.
Yeah, something like that.
It's gonna end up being a seller finance, a hybrid. Oops.
Okay, so on this one, you just use the loan 3 and loan 4 for your balance?
Correct. This is the original loan. They took
Yeah.
got a personal loan or something against it, commercial loan, something. Then they paid it back when they refied because it went down to 3.1. That's how you could tell.
I see.
So this is the new loan, and then they took a credit line against the property. So this is the second one. So we would use these two together.
So what does it mean when they took a credit line against the property?
So if the loan is 355 and the house is worth 800,000, they basically went to the bank and said, hey, I want a credit line. The house is worth a lot of money, $500,000. We only want this much.
I see.
They
Okay.
only 150 of the 400 or 500 they could have.
So that's something they already have in their pocket?
Correct.
I see.
And
All
then
right, so
150.
so the approach to this one would be seller finance, just of seller finance?
Nope, hybrid. Take over the SubTo loan. We're gonna take over both of these loans and then add another loan for probably around 250,000 and give them a 50,000 down. That makes sense?
I know.
We've
Yeah,
got
I'm still not clear on all that.
855. We multiply it. Let's go through it.
Yeah, I got 0.93. I got 795, 150.
Yep. That's what
And then I've subtracted
both of the loans.
404, 910, which is probably the wrong amount.
No, it's okay. After subtracting the loan, we've got 298 left. Of this 298, we would want to give them a down payment. Some of this, they're going to want 300,000 to their pocket traditionally. That's what they would have walked away with at this price.
Yeah.
But they've been trying to sell it for a while.
Yeah.
They even tried to rent it now.
Right.
And they still couldn't rent it. So
would that be a concern that they've been trying to rent it and they couldn't for that price?
Usually yes, but remember you want to do your homework.
Yeah.
If they tried to rent it at 4,400. Let's see if they were overpriced. They were. Rent's estimated around 3,700.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
They got a little greedy. They were looking for, they've got a payment here of 2,500, and they were looking for 4,400.
Yeah, wow.
So if we could come in and rent it out, let's even say for 3,500, 3,400. Make sure that their payment is being paid of 2,500. We've got a spread of what, 900 bucks, 1,000 bucks?
Yeah,
We could sell or finance to 300,000 for 500 bucks a month if they would take it. And then we keep
So-
800.
and with these two loans, 3 and 4 loan, contain the full PITI?
Sometimes we have to ask and make sure
So
that this
that-
is the correct number.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
All right, that's becoming more clear now. Appreciate it.
Thank you for bringing this. Anybody else got something on market? I've got to run in 5 minutes. Ken, I think you just put one, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. Let me go through these comments. Da, 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 da. You have an on market, Sandra? Let's go through it. What's the address? Is it in 90210? Let's do it. I love AZ. Okay. Great. Thank you. She's pulling up one more lead. Anybody else have any questions as far as SubTo go, as far as rentals, the different softwares? It doesn't have to be related to what we just talked about. Anything in general. Whoa.
Jose, I do have a question.
Yes.
It's Louisa here. Hi. So the deal I sent to you last time, and because the down payment that we have to give is like 100K, so obviously it's more than 10%. But a lot of time, if we have to give, because of even though it's low equity, there are still some equity. So usually it's still over 10%. It's really difficult, no, to find a good subject to deal.
As far as something that's hybrid?
I wasn't thinking about hybrid. I was just thinking straight subject to.
A straight SubTo? It's not that hard if you filter the correct way. And it depends on the area. But we are hitting a smaller market. This is not, remember, we're only making like 5 or 10 calls and we probably have a very hot lead. So this is, we're not going to get a ton of leads, but the leads are more quality. You know exactly what they need.
Yeah. So the rule of thumb is 10%, is that right, of the asking price?
Correct, but you want to include your acquisition price. You want to include so the fees to the realtor, what's going to the seller's pocket, all of that under 10. And you better make sure there's some cash flow with that. No one's going to pay 10% if it's breaking even or $100 cash flow. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. This property is already gone. Or it's under the ownership of somebody else. This is an LLC. I wonder what's going on. I'll dig in a little more on Zillow. Oh crap. That's my warning. I gotta run, guys. For sale, 380. And they purchased cash. SFR acquisitions. They purchased at 400. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank here. I have no idea what's going on this one. Sorry, Sandra. We've got a cash deal here for 400,000. And then they sold it. Not arm's length. And it doesn't show the method of the sale. It doesn't show the mortgage. Generally, when that happens and it doesn't show the mortgage, I go into property details and go to the bottom, and it'll usually say the recording information here, but there's nothing here. So I don't really have anything to go off of. Sorry, nothing you did. It's just That's an odd one.
So what do we do with properties like this?
Yeah, I would go to the next. You don't, I mean, there's so many leads out there. Don't break your head on one.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Hey, Ken, if you bring a seller finance lead, you could bring the lead, but make sure you talk to the seller or you talk to the agent and make sure that they're open to terms. Please don't bring any leads that you haven't talked to when it comes to seller finance. Most of the time, I'm not going to look at it. You have to have talked to them at least a little bit, do an introduction, and see if they're open to terms. Other than that, I probably won't look at it. Who raised their hand? Somebody raise your hand. Yeah, you're welcome, Ken. Lee, what's going on? Let me go through these questions. Lee Suck? Oh, which one?
Hello, Jose.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to know this Zoom is recorded, right? Where can I find it to the replay?
Here, let me show you. You're going to go into the circle platform right here. And you're going to go, let's just say you're home. You go down to accountability groups, click the lines then. In the lines then, you're going to have today's event. Click today's event. And under location, you're going to see the replay in my YouTube. And the YouTube link will pop up here.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thanks so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Any other questions, guys? I think we're good. Gotta go.
Okay, I have one more question, and it's do you have any YouTube video or anything that we can that I can be able to know how to function the preview, or is it called preview or private? The software.
I don't, but I will. If you text me, grab my number at the bottom. If you text me, I'll send you the tutorial for preview.
Okay, thank you.
And also, if you want, I think we go through it here in the Elephant Challenge. Click the home button.
Okay.
Let me see. Go to the courses. And under replays, you should be able to see them going through privy.
Okay, courses and then the replay.
Or go down to resources, is right above the regional chats.
Okay.
There's a bunch of Elephant Challenge replays. How to oh, there it is. How to comp properties in preview. Look at this.
Awesome.
Let me try and get you this. I'm going to show you how to get here. So we're home. Go down to resources, replays. How to comp properties with privy.
It's like at the bottom.
No.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it. I see it.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Welcome. Yeah, thanks, Veronica. I'll try and figure out what my next steps are in Puerto Rico, and I'll let you know. House where the seller, this was an agent flipper, got in over her head. I'd like to find out. Des, I don't mind. She wants me to take a look at a property that a flipper realtor might have gotten in on over their head. So I'm glad to take a look at it, but it's 95% of the time, if they're in over their head, they actually are. They guessed wrong. Alrighty, guys.